All right. Well, welcome to the Turnaround Artist. I think this is either episode 11 or 12, and I am your host, Brian McFarland. The Turnaround Artists is a show that was conceived by myself and my co-producer, Marisa Mitchell, also my life partner. And we found this show to talk about the ways we can turn around things when they don't go our way. So we've been getting a great response, and we've really treasured all those people who are listening and giving us comments. So we hope that continues. And today we're going to do a little twist on the Turnaround Artist, but keeping in theme with the message of turning things around when they don't go our way. And what we're going to do is the two of us decided on taking a little subset of our podcast, and this is going to be called Page Turners. And what this is about, because we're both voracious readers, and I'm guessing most of our podcasting audience is, you're not in our studio, but you're always welcome in our studio, is talking about a book or books, the both of us together, each of us individually. If you have book suggestions, if you'd like to do a book, please let us know. And I'm going to make a special offer today. If you email us at hello@theturnaroundartist.org. That's hello@theturnaroundartist.org. I will reach in my own pocket and I will mail you a paperback copy of the book that we're going to talk about today, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now over 15 million copies sold to date. And I'm going to tell you how I got this book, but it is How to Win Friends and Influence People, and is one book that changed my life. And this was inspired also by a question I learned today, a way of questioning by a gentleman, Tim Ferriss, who's also a very famous podcaster and really helpful person. And Tim gives an interesting way in which he suggests asking questions. So, for example, in this case, instead of me asking Marisa, let's say, "Hey, Marisa, what's your favorite book?" Which kind of pigeonholes someone into a place, because we all have so many books that we like. It's kind of a hard question to answer, but twisting that question a little bit and saying, "Hey, Marisa, what is the book that you have most given away as a gift in your life?" Much more specificity. And I think for every aspect of one's life, again, it's not my idea, it's Tim Ferriss's idea. I think you help a person answer that question more quickly. So that can be helpful in any way. So today's book is How to Win Friends and Influence People, as I've mentioned. And I want to talk quickly. This will be a relatively short episode, so hang in there. And the reason I did that song, by the way, that is, if you know the melody, that is Neil Young's Heart of Gold. Thank you, Neil. Huge fan. One of the few songs I know how to play on guitar. I would not hurt you with my singing. But the point is, I feel like I got a heart of gold because I had a heart of stone before I read this book. And I have read this book so many times. I've given it to Marisa. I've probably given out not less than 100 copies to friends, family, salespeople, business people across the board. And it's been really helpful. And if it's even helped one person, then just like the show, I'll feel like I've done a good thing for the universe. So the way I came into this book, because I know you're dying to know, I was huge into basketball when I was growing up on Plainview, Old Bethpage, Long Island. Wonderful place, wonderful town, big into basketball, big kid, lots of weightlifting, lots of anger and kind of rage issues. And surprisingly, that was because I wasn't a talker. And anyone who knows me now knows that's not my problem, that's for sure, or not my challenge. In fact, the podcast was created to diminish that. I don't know that it's working. But a doctor told me I had stress, I had a pre-ulcer, I was like 13 years old, and still was just always arguing and fighting, not fighting, punching, but just pushing and being a pain in general. So that was going over to the basketball court. So fast forward to I'm 16 years old. I'm heading into my senior year of high school. I play basketball now for the high school team and play for the varsity team. And whether it was practices with teammates, games, across the board, my whole career, if somebody looked at me the wrong way, I'd push and shove them. Somebody banged into me or one of my teammates, I'd push and shove them. Certainly didn't want to fight, probably would have gotten my butt kicked, but just this natural inclination to just push. And it wasn't nice and it wasn't smart, and people don't like that, whether you're playing with them or against them. So one of the most important people in my life, a gentleman named Ozzie Stewart. Shout out to Ozzie, who I've thanked multiple times on Facebook in my later years, and I would love to see him and thank him in person and give him a big hug, because he called me to his house one day, and that was kind of a really big deal, visiting Ozzie Stewart's house. He had actually coached a future NBA player, Mark Ivoroni, who played for the Knicks. Shout out to Mark, because he helped teach me. And Ozzie called me to his house in the summer before the summer season, and Ozzie said, "Listen, Brian, you're a good player. You work hard, you train hard, you're physically fit, you want it. You know, I can't coach that." He said, "But this rage and this anger and this pushing people is just too much. So I'm going to give you something, and it's going to come with an assignment. And when you play the summer league, I'm going to need to hear from the coach of the summer league that you're following along and you're learning lessons in this book. And if you do, and you write me a report and we talk about this book by the end of the summer, you can play this year. So if you want to play, learn the book." Okay, I'm motivated to learn the book. So let's get to the book. So I said, "Yes, Ozzie, I will." And I did. And that's why we're having this conversation now. What Dale Carnegie and his family said, bless them all. 8 things this book will help you achieve. I'm hooking you, I hope. Get out of a mental rut. Think new thoughts. Acquire new visions. Discuss new ambitions. Number 1. Number 2, make friends quickly and easily. Number 3, increase your popularity. Number 4, win people to your way of thinking. Number 5, increase your influence, your prestige, your ability to get things done. Number 6, handle complaints, avoid arguments, keep your human contact smooth and pleasant. 7, become a better speaker, a more entertaining conversationalist. And number 8, arouse enthusiasm among your associates. This book has done all those things for more than 10 million readers in 36 languages, actually up to 15 million. So sounds like a pretty good entree and something that hopefully you're looking forward to. So part 1, I'm going to keep this 20 minutes. So I'm going to go to 2 to 3 chapters per episode, and we'll flip around some books. And again, this is the maiden voyage. Part 1, fundamental techniques in handling people. 1, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. So as you think about that for a second, you would read the chapter and you would get to the close. Principle 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. I have needed to learn that lesson so many times. And in fact, anecdotally, I'm learning it right now in a situation I was pressed in life, personally, professionally, and whatnot. I need to be reminded of this. So this podcast is therapeutic to me, so I appreciate you as the listener listening. So what that meant to me in that teenage years was the takeaway was I wanted to become and always want to be the most positive, enthusiastic person that you know. Walk in, light up a room, have people come to you. Always look for the good in people. I learned a valuable lesson anecdotally. I was with my children years ago. Really bad look. Again, pretty aggressive, big sales guy. So anytime I took my kids or family to a restaurant, if the reservation was late or something was wrong, even growing up in the restaurant business, my goodness, I would kind of get my feathers up and be very aggressive, wrongly so, with the host, the maitre d' or whatnot. And more often than not, I got my way, meaning I got the table quicker or I kind of bent people to my will. Well, that's a really bad idea because it was a bad thing to do in general, but where it hit me the hardest is it really embarrassed the people that I was with. And I didn't know that because I didn't have eyes in the back of my head. They were afraid to say something to me. And it wasn't till my children, who bless them to this day, who have taught me so much, who said, Dad, it's really annoying and frustrating and embarrassing when you do that, because it doesn't make us feel good. We can see the way that people look at you and they don't feel good about doing it. And we really wish you would stop. Okay, I've stopped that behavior, and it's just led to a better life. So whatever that means for you, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Promise you, Dale Carnegie wrote it for a reason. This is not Brian telling you. This is Brian reading from Dale and relaying those thoughts and tips to you. Okay. Number 2, the big secret of dealing with people. Ooh, drum roll, please. Reese and I are going to do an episode soon on music, and I showed her how I can play drums with my fingers, so we're going to bring that into here. So what is the big secret of dealing with people? What are you thinking as the listener right now? If I was doing a Facebook Live, which I will be soon, you'll be writing in your comments and I'll answer them. Shout out to Rory, one of my new life coaches, podcasting coaches, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, and really great friend. And I can't wait to meet him someday. Number 2, it is give honest, sincere appreciation. And I know as a listener, you might go, oh, of course, you always do that. That's a master of the obvious. But the point is here, these are just reminders for us all that you're giving me the platform to communicate. So I wrote under here as I was preparing for this podcast was say, I really go out of my way now, and this is not my own pat on the back. I'm just sharing with you anecdotally. Tell people in your life, or I've told people in my life who have helped me, how they helped me, what that meant to me, some anecdotal benefits of those lessons, and how thankful I am and how grateful I am. And I've tried to surround myself, and I will say my success, at least in business life, is to so many of the mentors I've had in the past. I'll rattle off some names: Alan Waxenberg at Good Housekeeping Magazine, Jack Grant at Good Housekeeping Magazine, Joe Lagani at Country Home Magazine, Michael Hess at Rolling Stone Magazine, who's my mentor and incredible friend to this day, Joe Lozic, who I currently work for, Josh Kaufman, who I work for at Digital Trends. I'm sure I'm missing some people, but those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. And Michael Hess, I'll share one thing that he gave that when this given honest and sincere appreciation. I would always tell him so much, Michael, oh my gosh, thank you. You taught me so much and whatever. And he said, don't thank me. It's fine. But your job in life is to pay what you learned from me forward. It's our job generationally to pass along our wisdoms and our learnings to the next generation that follows us. And that's what's important. And he said a great line, and I believe that I've mentioned this in another episode, is as you're building your community, and all of our episodes drive into a community, because we all know you can always be better with great people around you, and surrounding yourself with great people and make yourself a great person for those people. You can't do it alone. Anyone who thinks they can do it alone, I thought I could do it alone. Rory Paquette thought he could do it alone. We can't. We're always going to be greater with a group of people. And Michael said a key thing to me. He said, you know what, Brian? You know what my success when I pass away and I'm sitting ready to exit this earth is going to be? And I think about my success. I said, no, what is it? He says, not going to be how much money I made or this or that or any deals I closed. He goes, flashing through my brain will be the amount of people and their faces that I helped in this life. And I'm not trying to be corny at all. This is like one of those lessons that I learned that's so powerful. And you think about who would be at your funeral and what would they say about you. And if I can fill up that room just by touching people's lives in a positive way, and they'll even show up for my funeral, period, and then B, they would pass around to my remaining family members and friends. Well, Brian helped me with this. I learned this from Brian. Brian was impactful in my life. And I will say that since I've read this book, since I've heard that from Michael, it has helped me in such a significant way. And as we come to the end of this short episode, and we're just as like a teaser, so always feel free to give us comments, likes, share it with your friends you think might benefit from it. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. Send us an email. Like I said, I've got an incentive for you. Send us an email and you get a free Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People in the mail with a nice card from me. Number 3, he or she or they who can do this has the whole world with them. Those who cannot walks a lonely way. And what is it? Principle number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. So I'm going to close with this because I love doing things in threes, but arouse in the other person an eager want. So I have learned, whether it be in parenting, in selling, in our relationships with our family, with our friends, with our loved ones, with your life partner, help, not make, help someone want to do something, right? The easiest example, I always say things like, you can't push a rope, duh. But with kids, I think they're the greatest untouched clay that's out there because they're just so pure and moldable. Is that, any of us who've had children or seen children or been around children, telling your kids what to do, that's going to get one response. But figuring out a way that you can help create an environment or a platform or an attitude that's going to let them want to do it is going to give everything. We've found all the time. I found all the time, especially if you have teenagers, any parent knows it becomes harder and harder. So if you can figure out a way to do that so kindly and get that other person, whether it's to buy and invest in something from you, to be interested in a second date with you, any of those things, to want to do that for themselves, for you, for your relationship, you're going to have a much better outcome, and they're going to be much more interested. We always say in sales, and I'll close with, I don't sell anything. People buy and invest with me of something that's going to be something they want. I'm going to help them want it because it's going to be a benefit to them, to their business, to their clients. That applies in sales, relationships, all these other things that I've said. So I hope that was helpful. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. Number 2, that's number 1. Number 2, the big secret of dealing with people. And then they who can do this have the whole world with them. They who cannot walks a lonely path. So anyway, that being said, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, listening in. If I'm just doing audio, we'll just bring this out with a close. But if I'm looking at you, I'll give you a wave and a smile. And then hopefully after you have this listen, your heart will be even turned to gold, more gold too than it already is. Thanks so much for listening once again. I hope you have a great day, a great night. Brian, your host here, The Turnaround Artist. Check us out, your favorite publishing platform. Send us an email. And true love, peace, and happiness to you all. Thanks so much.